Hello guys and welcome to another video. In today's video I'm going to be going through some of my portfolio and showing you exactly how much money I paid for properties, how much the renovation was and how much I got out. I'm thinking I'm going to be able to show you that I've got most of my money out of most of my properties, but it's not because of the reason you think. Most of it is over time, but I'm going to show you that. I'm going to give you all the figures. I'm going to do a whiteboard session. We're also going to go and visit a few properties. It is Friday, so it is a vlog style video. It's a vlog style video, so let's go and get stuck into it right now. So guys, here we are outside the first property I'm going to take you to today. This property I bought in 2015 when I moved down to Oxfordshire from London. And in order to buy this, we refinanced the property in London and put down a deposit on here. And this one we bought for £400,000. If I remember rightly, the deposit was 20%, so 80,000, and the stamp duty, as it was a residential home, and at the time, I don't think there was the 3% additional. So I think the stamp duty was about £10,000–15,000, something like that. But basically, we had this property and we lived here for about 5 years, after which we turned it into a HMO. And it's now a 6-bedroom HMO, rents out for about £4,000 a month, with about £1,800 a month worth of net profit. And we refinanced this in 2020. And the refinance figure was 525,000, and I think we released just under 100,000 when it all came out in the wash after legals and everything else. So being the first property I'm taking you to, this is a good example of something, but we bought it off plan, we bought it as a new build. We didn't really get any savings on it per se. Obviously we negotiated a little bit, but ultimately everything was going for the asking price. So really we got to pick the plot. We decided on the fact that we look quite like the stone finish rather than the brick finish. So we picked one that had that, and we picked the location on the plot. So we were right at the back of a development. So there's only about 4 houses down from us. So very, very small amounts of traffic. But beyond that, there wasn't massive savings. But this is a good example of something that we bought, as I said, for 400,000, now worth 525,000 and generating a rental of £1,800 a month. How much have I got left in this? Zero. Of course I have. 5 years have passed, I've been making money the whole time, and on top of that, the capital appreciation has gone up significantly. So let's go to another one I bought in 2017 in the same town. This is in Harwell, the next one's in Didcot, and I bought that as a new build as well. So let's go and have a look at that, and I'll give you those figures. Let's go. So guys, here we are outside another one of my properties. This is a 5-bedroom HMO based over in Didcot. This property, I bought it for £350,000. The developer paid the stamp duty, the developer paid the legal costs, and the developer paid for all the alterations I needed. So in total, this was £350,000, and that meant that I just paid an £87,500 deposit in order to buy this. Last year, it got revalued at £425,000, which is £75,000 worth of uplift, and on top of that, it's been making me £20,000 of net profit every year since 2017 when I bought it. This is another example where over time I've got all of my money out of a property, but it didn't happen overnight and I didn't add the value there and then. I just allowed it to appreciate over time, and today I've got none of my money left into this property. But let's go and have a look at another one just down the road, which I bought in 2020, where I did a significant amount of work, £40,000 from the renovation, and I have added a bit of value. I bought it in 2020, so let's go and have a look at that one. So guys, here we are outside Hayden Road in Didcot. That's my third property I'm going to take you to today. But stay with me, because I'm also going to take you back to the whiteboard, and we'll go through about 10 and I'll show you the principles of what I'm talking about. But this house here, I bought it for £275,000 last year. I spent about £40,000 on the reno. Today it's worth £350. It's been revalued at £350, and we pulled quite a significant chunk of money out. I haven't quite got all my money out of this one yet, but remember, I only bought it a year ago, so I wouldn't really be expecting to have it all back yet, but I've got a good proportion of that out. I've certainly paid for all the renovations and plus a little bit extra. Due to COVID, we've had to drop our rents a little bit in Didcot, but we're still netting £1,200–1,300 a month profit, and we will continue to do so until we can raise those rents as the scientist comes back to this town. But I'll tell you what, let's go back to the whiteboard. I'm going to go through all the properties I bought from 2010 through to now, and I'm going to go through exactly how much I have out of all of them. I'm pretty sure all of them have got all their money out, but let's have a look. Guys, welcome to the whiteboard. I thought it'd be really useful to go through some figures on some of the houses I own. And I haven't put all of them on there, as Nick sort of mentioned that it was getting a bit much. His words, not mine. I'm quite happy to do all of them. I've got 13 properties in total. I think we've got, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 on here. But to be honest, there's going to be a continuing theme on here where we haven't got our money back on ones we bought in the last year. And there's a reason for that, right? Time hasn't moved on and compounding hasn't taken effect. I've also left off the residential property that we're doing at the moment in terms of a project because again, it's not really relevant to this sort of thinking. So guys, what we'll do is we'll just go through these line by line and I'll explain exactly what's going on. So I bought a property in 2011 in London, paid 179,000 for it. We renovated it for about 15,000 and most recently it's revalued at 400,000. Now that's a great example of something where we've got all our money out quite a few times over. The deposit on that was 18,000. There was no stamp duty, we were first time buyers, and then the renovation, we kind of did it as we went along. We also rented out the spare rooms, and since then, when we moved out there in 2015, when we moved here, then we've also had the rent as well. So I have to say that we put in 30,000, we've made the best part of 200,000. So have we got our money back out? Yeah, about 10 times over. So that's why there's a few ticks there, because we really have done very well out of that. And it's not because we particularly bought well, it's just that the market moved on, okay? So that one is a big win for us. And I would actually credit that for quite a few of our properties and the growth that we've experienced since. So the next one I want to go through is 2013 in France, when I bought our holiday home. And we paid 40,000. Well, actually, we paid 80,000, but it was 2 properties. And me and my wife, we put in half, and my parents put in half. So it was a bungalow for my parents and a farmhouse for me. We spent about £20,000 on the reno, and it's recently revalued as a whole plot as about 200,000. So our share would be about 100,000. Now, have we got our money back out? It's currently being done as a service accommodation, and we've had a few bookings. So I think we've got about 3 or 4 grand in so far, but we haven't got all our money out because there's no mortgage on it. There's no mortgage on it because my mum is very anti getting a mortgage on it. Absolutely fine, I understand that. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but as a service accommodation, it's still going to achieve somewhere in the region of £50,000 a year, of which I will get about half of that, so about £25,000 a year. So we're still going to do a good ROI of about 30% on the capital we have in there. So I'm really, really happy with that, but we haven't got all our money out. But in theory, I put a tick because we could have if we wanted to, or if we pushed for it. So the next property I've got on here is Didcot, and this was another home. So we paid about £80,000 as a deposit into this house. We bought it in 2015. There was 0 reno because it's a brand new build. It was the first house we went and visited on this video. And today it's worth between 500 and 525,000, somewhere in that sort of region. It's a 6-bedroom HMO. It's making us about £1,800 a month, so it's very profitable. On the remortgage alone, I think we've had all our money out. But with the rent included, there's no question, we've had all our money out. So far we're all the way down to here and all of our money has been recycled. We haven't put a penny into anything. Moving on to our next property, the second house we visited in Didcot. That one we bought in 2017, 350. There was no stamp duty, no reno, none of that. The developer paid all of it. So again, 0 here, and it's now worth 425,000. I think we put 87,500 down, if I remember right, and quick maths would say that's about right. So I think we've almost had our money out from the revaluation, and I think that was the case. But when you add in the fact that for 4 years, or 3.5 years, we've been receiving about £1,500 to £1,800 a month net, then we've definitely had all our money out. So again, that one at this point in time, completely free of charge. We've then got a couple of properties in Sheffield. We bought these in 2018. One of them was 99,000, spent about 10 grand, currently worth about 140. Again, we probably had all our money out, not necessarily from the revaluation, because that one got down valued more recently when we tried to refinance it in COVID. We only got a value of 110. But if you look at the value there now, there's no question it's 140. So I've got a funny feeling that in rent alone, we've had all our money back, but from the revaluation, certainly not. So that's a bit of a funny one. This one, on the other hand, we definitely had the revaluation. The money's come back out on the reval and it's come back on the rent. So that one is both, there's no question. We've had all our money out. So we're now down to 2018, and so far, discounting our holiday home, we haven't got a penny left in any of our properties, which is pretty phenomenal. And this really is the power of compounding, because as you're buying and the momentum's building, you're starting to generate cash, which can go into the next deal, because the money that you put into all of these is coming back with interest. And that's compounding, right? So 2019, there should be 2 in Kettering actually. I've messed that up, I do apologise. So we bought 2, we bought one for 135 and we bought one for 130. Both of the renos were between 20 and 25. I think this was 20, 185,000. On the revaluation alone, certainly hasn't all come back out, and in fact that's going through at the moment, so I know it hasn't come back out. It's 2021 now, as you know. That revaluation is due in the next couple of weeks, so we've gone in for what, 185. I think we'll get 185. Once that happens, we will have all our money back out of that deal as well. The other one in Kettering was at the end of 2019, and that one's revaluation, and this is where we really have this cut-off point. At this point, we don't have all our money back out of any of the deals, because that one hasn't been revalued yet. It hasn't been rented out long enough for us to receive the rental income back. So I know that the other one that should be in here, we also haven't had all our money back. But now we're looking at the one in Wellingborough, and that was featured on some of my very recent videos, like at the beginning of this year. So that one we bought in 2020, beginning of, 126,000, 30k of reno, 175k revaluation. That's more like 200 today, to be fair. But at this point in time, I would say we haven't got all our money in. We haven't got all our money out. I think we've probably still got 15 to 20,000 pounds in there. It was done on a bridging loan, and the fees are included in this, I think. So it is almost there. I think we've got about 20,000 in. So we haven't had all our money out though. So that's the question in this video. What properties have got all my money out? Didcot 2020, again, 275, 40k of reno, 350. There's no way we've got all our money out of that yet. We've probably got about 40, 50 grand left in there. And the rental income on that one is about 1,500 to 1,600 pounds net. So about 3,100, 3,200 gross. So again, it will pay itself back very quickly. And the cutoff point for us seems to be we get most of our money back, or if not all our money back, in between 2 or 3 years, something like that. So guys, I hope this video has been useful. I really wanted to highlight just how time really does affect the value of your portfolio, and how the compounding effect and the snowballing of value takes place over time. If you've got any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them all. As I said, I haven't put all my properties on here. I've missed one in Kettering, I've missed one in Corby. There's a personal project that's going on, but it gives you a really good flavour. And I would say for us, it takes us about 3 years on any investment to get all of our capital back out. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I've been Mark Parham. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. I'll see you next week.